Okay. Alright, sorry we're once again doing this on Sunday. Wanted to do it earlier, especially this weekend, but I had to work all day Friday and all day Saturday, and this was really the earliest I could do it. And I'm sorry there wasn't much of a notice before we started here, but it's still kind of wiped out from work, and I figure, well, everyone's going to be at the movie theater seeing Spider-Man Homecoming anyway, which, for the record, is where I want to be right now. So let's just get this out of the way so I can go see the movie. And FYI, if I see one fucking spoiler for the movie in the chat room, I'm turning the stream off. I'll tell you that right now. No spoilers. I mean it. Alright, so let's talk about Impact. A few things before we get started, though. Some of you are probably wondering what I thought about Slammiversary. I already gave my in-depth thoughts on it when we reviewed the show on the HeelCast. The new episode is up now. You can do a YouTube search for HeelCast. It pops right up. Or you can watch it, you can listen to the show at impactasylum.net. It's me, Raven Effect, and BQ. We go through the whole show. Long story short, favorite segment of the night was JB and Joseph Park versus Josh Matthews and Scott Steiner, believe it or not. And on a whole, I thought it was probably the best show this company has produced, best pay-per-view, rather, this company has produced in a pretty long time. Definitely worth the money. If you missed it, go watch it. So that's, if you want long story short, there it is. And also, this is interesting. This is something that I just noticed the other day. You know, a lot's been said recently about all the controversy about the broken universe gimmick of Matt Hardy's. He wants to use it in WWE. Impact Wrestling are claiming it's their intellectual property. And it's this big legal battle over the thing. They're saying, oh, supposedly they're coming to some kind of agreement where Matt will get to use his gimmick that he created in WWE. Maybe, possibly, who knows. But I discovered something that's kind of funny. And, you guys should probably check this out. See, I've been watching a lot of anime recently. Been going back and watching some anime shows that I've never seen. I guess because, Attack on Titan Season 2 came out recently, and it kind of gave me the itch again. So I've been watching some old anime series. I watched Darker Than Black, Akame Got Kill, and I was looking for a new one. And I set it on Death Note, because there's this live-action movie adaptation coming out on Netflix. So I figured, all right, I'll try Death Note. Not the kind of anime I'm usually into, but I'll give it a shot. So I've been watching that one. And I watched I watched up to episode 31 last night. And I saw something very interesting as it pertains to Matt Hardy and the Broken Universe gimmick. Why don't you guys click on this link and go to the 19-minute mark. See anything familiar? Because I was watching this last night, I saw something very interesting there. Delete. Delete. Delete! Yeah. Yeah. That's from an anime that came out in 2006. Adapted from a manga series from 2003, according to Wikipedia. So, I think it's kind of funny that the Hardy clan, well, Rebby in particular, Rebby especially, have been so bent out of shape over this this legal battle that prevents Matt from using this gimmick that he supposedly created in WWE, when, as it turns out, Matt didn't even create the fucking delete chant in the first place. This whole time, we've all been, like so many people have been applauding him for reinventing himself so drastically with this new gimmick, when in actuality, this whole delete, delete, delete thing is something he copied from Death Note. I'm serious. Click the link. At the 19-minute mark, he fucking ripped off the anime this whole time. It was just something he saw in the anime. I just thought that was really interesting. And I'll probably give him shit about that. I'll probably tweet him and give him shit about that later. But I'm surprised. No, I haven't seen anybody draw attention to this until now. As far as I know, nobody caught this yet. So I might be the first one. So I just thought that was very interesting. Anywho, I don't know. So yeah, let's make some noise about that. I'd love to see how Rebby reacts to people pointing this out. Her reaction would be really fun, I think. So let's move on to Impact. Excuse me. From this past Thursday, I believe that is July the 6th. So, Slammiversary Fallout show. Again, Slammiversary, great pay-per-view, great show, go watch it. So, our opening segment is our new unified world champion, Alberto El Patron, comes out with his family, introduces his father and his brother, and he does what you're supposed to do. He put over the match with Lashley. It's one of my best matches, blah, blah, blah. He gives Lashley respect as a tough son of a bitch. Yeah, they drop confetti. It's this big celebration. It's the kind of celebration you're supposed to do to put over a big championship, like title change. It's fine. And he says that, his little brother is going to be joining them on the roster pretty soon. Oh, yeah, sure. Because we already got more people than we could possibly feature in 2 hours a week. We got so many people that guys like Magnus and Matt Morgan are just sitting backstage doing nothing. So, by all means, let's add more people. Because we got plenty of space, right? Who will we be shunting backstage to gather dust this time? To make room for this person? Beats me. There's got to be a couple people. They're going to see a reduction in screen time to make room for, what, Dos Caras? Is that his name? I don't know. But anyway, good promo. Fine championship celebration here. Lashley comes out to interrupt this. And Lashley is really good in this segment. He calls Patron an egomaniac. And he says, he'll build a wall around all the Mexicans to keep you guys out of Impact Wrestling. And that was a good line, actually. He gets slapped for it. Good promo from Lashley. Nice heat for this. And then they set up a title rematch for tonight. So, on the Slammiversary Fallout show, you're going to do a rematch from the main event of the pay-per-view. See, they still haven't learned their lesson. How long have they been doing this? Seems like every time they have a big pay-per-view event, they do this. They redo like the main event of the big marquee matches. It's like, do you not understand how this impacts pay-per-view buys in a negative way? Excuse me. How do they not comprehend how damaging this can be? If people are wondering whether or not they should buy the pay-per-view, when they know that a lot of the big matches are probably going to be redone on Impact soon after. More on this later. At Slammiversary, there was this weird backstage segment where Dutch Mantell was trying to find Bruce Pritchard, and Karen Jarrett was wondering where Pritchard was. Apparently, he just disappeared and no one could find him. And Dutch was on the phone. He's like, hey Bruce, where are you, man? The pay-per-view is going on right now. Call me, dude. Where are you? Where'd you disappear to? So I thought that was going to be some kind of angle, like Bruce Pritchard disappeared or he got kidnapped or something. But now he's back. No explanation for where he was on Sunday. No, he's back. Nothing appears to be wrong at all. So I'm kind of wondering what that segment at the pay-per-view was about. But no, he's back. He's talking to the announcers. he's yelling at JB and Josh and says that they'll be fired if they continue bickering. And for good measure, he says the same thing about the Pope, when the Pope was the only one who was actually trying to do his job these last couple weeks. He was the one trying to keep the announcing on track, trying to call the action like you're supposed to, when JB and Josh were doing nothing but sniping at each other, and now he's telling, hey, yeah, you too, Pope. He's like, what the fuck did I do? Good question. Pope didn't do anything, so why is he getting shit on for it? I don't know. But, yeah, so this leads to the bickering announcing thing kind of being de-emphasized. There's still like a little back and forth, like arguing between them, but they're not letting it get in the way of calling the action now, and the announcing is better for it. Not as good as it would be if they had Don West in there, but apparently that Don West coming back to commentary was a one-time thing. I'm sad about that. Anywho, we have a non-title X Division match, Sanjay Dutt versus Caleb Conley. Just an enhancement match. You know, they're not really doing anything with Caleb Conley right now, so he's an enhancement guy for the time being. So yeah, Sanjay wins. Good match, but you kind of knew how this was going to play out. Just an enhancement match. Sanjay wins, gets attacked by Trevor Lee post-match. So apparently, I guess maybe they talked to Trevor Lee, figured out where his loyalties are. Maybe he decided that he's staying with the company for the time being, so maybe he can get a renewed push now. Okay, because that guy was eating a lot of pins on the India tour, which I wasn't really thrilled about. Yeah, he attacks Sanjay, and he steals the X Division title belt. Oh boy, a belt-stealing angle. Because that went over so well when they did it with Johnny Devine and Jay Lethal. Oh wait, no, it didn't. That was actually really bad. And that didn't get over. And that didn't work at all. So yeah, let's do it again! Angles like these are stupid, I'm sorry. Because you always have to wonder, well, if this guy got his belt stolen, why doesn't management step in to return the championship title to its owner? This guy had his fucking property stolen, so why... You think, well, management would step in and just take the belt back and give it back to Sanjay. But when that doesn't happen, you're just wondering what the fuck is going on. Like when they did it with Johnny Devine and Jay Lethal, like Johnny Devine stole that thing and he had it for, months, it felt like. Like, months! And Jay Lethal couldn't get this thing back. For weeks and weeks and weeks this thing went on. It's like, what? It was just, it's so fucking ridiculous. And now another belt-stealing angle. Oh, great. Great. Angles like these do not make the champion look good. I'm sorry. So we'll see where that goes. I'm not optimistic about it, though. And then we have another match. It is an 8-man tag match with Eli Drake, Chris Adonis, and in case you didn't know which team was losing, Mario Bocara and Falaba, versus Eddie Edwards, the Veterans of War, and their partner, Grado. Yeah. He's back. Okay, so I'm not happy about this. Best thing I can say about this segment is that even though we knew in advance that Eli Drake's team was going to lose, Eli Drake did not have to eat the pin. So there's a silver lining right there. The Veterans of War were on the winning team. That's good. Okay. So yeah, that happens. And then Joseph Park comes out and he gives Grado some kind of paperwork that has bad news on it or something. So on a show that is already kind of starved for new storylines, that needs an infusion of new storylines already, we're wasting one of the few storylines we are doing on fucking Grado. The fuck is their fascination with this idiot? I don't understand. The explanation I always hear is that he has a big following in the UK. So? Grado having a big following in the UK didn't stop them from losing their UK TV deal for a while. So how popular can this fucker possibly be? God damn it. We could have had Kaylee Ray. They could have signed Kaylee Ray out of British Bootcamp too, but no, they had to get fucking Grado. Now, he was the big pick. He was the star, Grado was. No, fuck Kaylee Ray. We'll just let her get signed by WWE eventually. Yeah. Because they got Nikki Storm. They signed her up. They'll get Kaylee Ray eventually. No, Impact don't care because they got Grado. That's all they care about. Fuck this guy. So after this, we have a match between Matt Sydal and Braxton Sutter. So they're still toying with this idea of Braxton Sutter being an X Division guy. I'm not sure why. So yeah, Sydal wins. Yep, fine match. Sydal wins with the shooting star press. You don't really understand or know why this match is even happening until the post-match angle, where Sutter gets frustrated and is a little short with Allie. She tries to cheer him up, and he's not having any of it. He's pissed off. And so, all right, here's something. Here's an angle. And I guess this is going to be the start of possibly a Braxton Sutter heel turn or possibly a breakup angle. Both of which I'd be on board with. You know, whenever I've seen Pepper Park's stuff on the indies, he was always a heel. I suspect he'd probably be more comfortable that way. I guess the main criticism about him in Impact, even though the guy does seem to have gotten over it to a certain extent, is that he's just kind of bland personality-wise. So maybe he'd have more if he were a heel. Also, if it's a breakup angle, I'm for it. I think them being an on-screen couple has done something for Sutter, but it's really held Allie back. Because let's face it, she's the one people want to see. And so I see good things coming out of this. And fingers crossed that this means that the writers have noticed that Allie and Rosemary make a way better couple. Because you put Allie and Rosemary together, their chemistry just jumps off the screen. Allie and Braxton, it's like, eh. It's like I'm kind of just waiting for Rosemary to show up here. I mean, there are serious Korasami vibes between these three. It's like Allie and Rosemary, they're Cora and Asami. And Braxton, he's Mako. You know, it's like that. Hopefully Team Demon Bunny will turn out like Korasami did. Anywho, we go back to the LAX clubhouse, or wherever that's supposed to be, and they're talking about how they're going to introduce a new member tonight. New member of LAX. Okay? Don't necessarily think they need a new member. They already got like 5 of them. Of course, Conan's like a manager, and Homicide, he's not really doing anything. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, it kind of feels like they got too many people in there already. I mean, like I said, Homicide doesn't really do anything. Homicide feels completely superfluous. Does Homicide do anything in this faction right now? Not really. I mean, the way it is right now, I think LAX would be better suited to getting rid of somebody. I don't mean that as a slight on Homicide. I'm just saying, look, do something with him, or just get rid of him. Because right now he ain't doing shit. And also it's going to be another big, like, huge heel faction. I was like, we don't need this. No more big heel factions, please. But whatever, we'll give it a shot. So Conan says that LAX is going to be colder and more violent than ever. All right. Not sure what happened to that angle of them going to other companies, like other indie companies, and winning their tag titles. That just kind of went away. Maybe they'll follow it up later. I don't know. Anywho, JB comes out at this point, and he announces the return of the Super X Cup. Wow, that came out of nowhere. And he introduces the people that are going to be involved in this thing. We got Davey Richards, Sammy Guevara, Drago, ACH, Andrew Everett, Taiji Ishimori, Desmond Xavier, and Idris Abraham. I was not aware that Idris Abraham was an X Division guy. Apparently he is. It's news to me. Now, I've seen fans of the X Division getting really excited about this news. Just pissing themselves with glee. Like, ZOMG, they're finally bringing the X Division back! Holy shit, the Super X Cup! You know, they're finally respecting the X Division again. It's going to be so amazing! Well, I'm sorry, but I'm just not on the same train as the rest of you people. Alright, first of all, look at how they did this. If they were really serious about making a big deal of the Super X Cup coming back, they would have made a big announcement. They would have done something more than just posting a graphic on Twitter a few days before the show, okay? They would have advertised it, promoted it. They would have played hype videos for a couple weeks on Impact to get people excited and to introduce the Super X Cup to new fans who weren't watching back in the day and might not know what it is. They would have introduced and familiarized the audience with all the people who are going to be involved in this thing. Like, play introduction videos, like they did one for Desmond Xavier and Idris Abraham here. Well, they would have been playing those for a couple weeks so people knew who all these people were before they came out. That's what they would have done if they were really serious about this. If they really gave a shit. Instead, they just sent JB out to the ring totally randomly with virtually no fanfare whatsoever to say, hey guys, the Super X Cup is a thing again, and it's starting right now. Surely you can see how half-assed that comes across. So forgive me if I'm not jizzing all over myself about this. I'd like to think this is a sign that this company has learned from their past mistakes, and they're making an honest-to-God effort to make the X Division relevant again, but what I'm looking at is an 8-man tournament featuring a bunch of random guys who, with the exception of Davey Richards and Andrew Everett, we've been given zero reason to give any kind of a fuck about. I don't even know who half these people are. And I don't know if I should even bother learning who they are, because most, if not all of them, are probably going to be gone after this tournament is over. I'm sure the matches will be fantastic, but that doesn't matter very much if they don't give you a chance to invest in the people and the characters involved first. Also, follow-up is going to be very important afterward. But as we're learning, that's something that this creative team struggles with. So, we have the first match in the Super X Cup tournament, Desmond Xavier versus Idris Abraham. You know, both guys get the intro videos. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is what I'm going to do. Again, where were these weeks ago? We should have been seeing them weeks ago. But I guess better late than never, I suppose. So, it's a good match that Desmond Xavier wins, predictably. I didn't have a problem with the match itself, but it felt like it went too long, to be honest with you. Frankly, considering what we've seen so far, Desmond Xavier should have won this pretty quickly. Why are you dragging this out when Abraham has been booked like a jobber since he debuted, and we've got no reason to believe he's going to go over here in any way, shape, or form? Really, this should have just been a quick match to put over Desmond Xavier really fast. Like, really strong. He still went over, but I'm like, why did it take him so long to beat this guy? So, we'll see how this turns out. It's not really scratching me where I itch yet, but maybe they'll improve it. After this, we get a Marufuji hype, hype video for Marufuji, who we saw at Slammiversary. I believe he was in the opener, the big tag team car wreck spot fest match. I like what he did in that match, so okay, fine. I guess he's going to come in as a singles guy for a little bit. And Moose, meanwhile, is doing a backstage interview where he's talking about facing Marufuji for the Grand Championship next week, because Marufuji is getting a title shot already. He's interrupted by EC3. Not E-Sing3 anymore, so formerly E-Sing3. So EC3 talks about how he should be getting the title shot instead. He doesn't understand how Marufuji could just come in and just get a title shot, wham, bam, boom, just like that. To be fair, that's actually makes a lot of sense. And then Moose responds by saying that he doesn't like people skipping ahead in the line and just being handed things. Which doesn't make any sense, because isn't that exactly what Marufuji is doing? He comes in, has one match, which he loses, and then he just gets a title shot? How do you go from losing a multi-man tag team match to getting a singles title shot like 2 weeks later? That is Marufuji skipping ahead in the line and being handed things. Which Moose said that he doesn't like people doing. But he just said that he's excited about facing Marufuji. So, EC3 actually made a really good point here, and frankly, he came off like the reasonable one, whereas Moose seemed a little confused. I don't have a problem with Marufuji getting a title shot. I liked what he did at Slammiversary. They could have set this up better, because the reasoning here was... Frankly, it didn't make any sense. So we go back to the ring at that point for a knockout segment. Because, they're only getting one segment a show right now. So we get our new unified knockouts champion, Sienna, not facing the former champion, Rosemary, not cutting a promo on Rosemary or the match at Slammiversary, no, but she's having a random-ass squash match against Rebel. I'm not sure how Rebel gets a match with the champion. Not sure how that happens. So here's another person who's skipping ahead in the line right there. All right, here we have another example of something that's been bugging me about this show lately. An over-reliance on squash matches. Why does this match even exist? What is the point of it? To show that Sienna can beat a jobber? And I actually like Rebel, but let's face it, she's a jobber. Alright, newsflash, writers. We just watched Sienna beat Rosemary, who was undefeated for over a year on Impact, and win the Knockouts title. We know how tough Sienna is. Putting her in a random squash match is a waste of fucking time. And why is Rebel, of all people, getting a shot at Sienna before Rosemary gets her rematch for the title? Shouldn't that be priority number one? Where the fuck was Rosemary on this show? Why are you not addressing her? She was close to having the longest Knockouts title reign of all time. Why are you not following up on that? Why is Sienna not cutting a promo about that? Sienna just had a major accomplishment here, and if you gave her a promo segment where she talks about it, boasts about it, puts it over as a really big thing that just happened, and then maybe has a pull-apart brawl with Rosemary or something, anything to set up their rematch, it would have covered a hell of a lot more ground than watching Sienna have a random-ass match and pin somebody who loses all the time. I'm just saying. Where the hell was all the follow-up here? There wasn't any. I guess it's an okay match. You know, Rebel still looks green, but she's definitely improved somewhat. But overall, the match just feels really pointless. It feels like filler. Why are we seeing this? This doesn't accomplish anything or move any kind of storyline forward. Just give Sienna a fucking microphone. Have her talk about what she did with Rosemary. Set up the next chapter of this feud. Kind of felt like they were just kind of just killing time here. Pointless segment. And then we move on to our world title match, our world title rematch, with Alberto El Patron defending against the former champion Bobby Lashley. Now, before this match even starts, I'm kind of checking out. Imagine for a minute that you paid your hard-earned money to order Slammiversary because you really want to see Lashley versus Patron. Then you turn on Impact 4 days later to see that they're doing the match that you paid for, again, for free. You're going to feel like you wasted your money. And this is one of the big issues I deal with every time a big pay-per-view comes around in this company. Because one of the big things I debate in my head when I'm deciding whether or not I should order this show is because in the back of my mind, I know that some, if not most, or even all the important matches are going to get redone on free TV often as soon as the following Thursday. Impact has been doing this for a long time now, and I have no idea why. It doesn't encourage people to buy the pay-per-views. If anything, it encourages them to not buy the pay-per-views. So why do you fucking do this? If you want to do this rematch on TV, at the very least, wait a couple weeks first. When you do it on the very next show, people who bought the pay-per-view just feel like they got ripped off. So, right out of the gate, I'm feeling impatient with this. But I'm going to give it a shot. All right, JB introduces both guys. They get the big fight feel intro stuff. Treatment. It's another good match between these two. You know, Lashley is closing in on a victory when LAX attack Lashley, cause a DQ finish. So, at least they didn't redo the whole match over again. I still feel like I kind of feel like they gave away too much of it for free still. I would have had LAX come out before that. Because, I mean, it's the last segment of the night, so you know LAX are going to show up and do something. So it just, you're kind of just waiting for them to appear and do whatever they're going to do. So they attack Lashley, they cause a DQ, and then Conan gets on the mic, and he says that the company has tried to bury LAX. Which, again, makes no sense at all. How, in what way has this company tried to bury LAX? They showed up and attacked the Decay, were quickly put into a program for the tag team titles, won the tag team titles, were given an opportunity to win the GFW tag team titles, won those, and have been apparently signed to the active roster despite stating that their plan was to rip off, to basically just rip off the tag team titles as revenge for what the Hardys did to them in Mexico, in Conan's promotion. So it kind of seems to me like LAX have had the red carpet rolled out for them and had the rocket ship strapped to their asses. But no, Conan is saying how the company has tried to bury them. How? That makes no sense. But yeah, they're pissed off about something. And he then announces LAX's newest member, Alberto El Patron. And Patron doesn't seem like he knew about this. Didn't seem like he knew it was going to happen. So I don't know if he gave them his consent to do this. I guess we'll see. Because it seems like TNA Impact Wrestling or GF, whatever the fuck we're calling it now, kind of seems like they want Patron to be a babyface, at least in the short term. So maybe this is going to lead to some conflict there. We don't know yet. So it's a confusing ending to the show, to say the least. But at least it's a story. It's some kind of storyline, which this show needs more of right now. And that was Impact. And yeah, that was kind of an underwhelming 2 hours, if I'm being honest. After a Slammiversary pay-per-view, which I very much enjoyed, I was looking forward to this Impact quite a bit. So it's pretty disappointing that we got what we got here. With the exception of the LAX attack at the end and one or two other things, creatively, this show just felt like it was on autopilot. Where's the effort, writers? Did you guys even try this week? Were you too burned out after the pay-per-view to actually write something compelling? Try a little harder next time, okay? Please. More effort next Thursday, if you don't mind. Okay. Let's try to get through these chat room comments quickly. And again, No spoilers for Spider-Man Homecoming. I see one spoiler, I'm turning the stream off. Okay? I mean it. Nothing against Rebel. Clearly she's just a jobber, but still they could have brought in somebody that can actually wrestle to face Sienna. Yeah, but apparently Rebel worked for GFW when GFW was still a thing. Back when Jeff Jarrett thought GFW was going to be the next big thing in wrestling before the company just became a way to parlay, a brand to parlay into a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, she was. I guess she was on the roster for a bit. So it seems like everybody who was on the GFW roster, Jarrett's got a place for them, whether they suck or not. That's how Chris Masters got a spot on the roster. And look, I like Rebel. I've always thought she was a fun personality. I think she's got a lot of charisma. I don't necessarily think she's the best wrestler or will be the best wrestler. I just kind of like her. She's a magnetic personality. I'm under no illusions though. She needs to improve a lot, and to her credit, I think she has improved. But yeah, I mean, let's not kid ourselves about her. The GFW stuff is so lame, nobody even knows what GFW is. Agreed? Rebel was average at best, and doesn't help the fact that you see a knockout for a match and then they don't see them for several months, and then they're supposed to care about them when they come back. Yeah, more consistency with the knockouts is needed, definitely. Rather have Gail Kim coming back or the return of Grado? No. I don't like Grado at all, and I have issues with Gail Kim. Kind of a complicated question to answer, actually. How exactly are the titles unified when the champions still carry 2 physical belts with them? Another good question. I'm not sure. I guess the short version is they just don't have new belts yet, because they haven't been made yet. Let's see. Not gonna lie, Gail looked great, but there is nothing else she can do in the division that she has not done before. That's not true, actually. She can put people over. Yeah, she hasn't really done that. Well, she has sort of, but not in a... You know what? That's a whole different conversation. She can put people over in a lasting, meaningful way that actually helps them. Let's put it that way. Do you watch Lucha Underground? No, I do not. The show is just not for me. Has Amber Nova been signed? Not, to my knowledge, no. Might just be some. It might be just be like a PPA deal, like they bring her in when they want to have her job to somebody. Which I thought that's what Ava Story was there for, but who knows? I think they're going to use Amber Nova again. She's nice to look at, but I'd rather see like storyline development than squash matches. Did you see Spider-Man Homecoming yet? With any luck, I'm going to see it today. What do you think of the Glow Netflix series? I liked it. You know, I was not able to watch the original, the original Glow. I don't know like how fictional or non-fictional this retelling of that story is, but it's an entertaining show. I got a kick out of trying to spot all the different wrestling cameos, because you get, there's actually quite a few of them. You got Awesome Kong, is in like one of the supporting roles in the main cast. You got Johnny Mundo is in there for an episode. We see Alex Riley is in there, Christopher Daniels, Joey Ryan, probably some other ones that I missed. It's really fun trying to spot them all, and the show is really good. The show is a lot of fun too. I watched the whole thing in I think like 2 days. Really entertaining. I hope there's another season of it. Where are these new knockouts? It seems like just Rosemary, Sienna, Allie, and LVN. That's about it. Well, MJ Jenkins has been working explosion matches. Not sure when she's going to debut on Impact. Also, Diamante is around, but she injured her knee performing a stunt or a kick at Slammiversary, so she might need surgery. That's really unfortunate. I like Diamante a lot. They're around. They're just focusing on this on the 4 that you mentioned for the time being. I don't think that's a bad way to go either. I mean, those are the most interesting characters you've got in the knockout division right now. Are you excited for a Venom comedy movie? No, I am not. That movie is going to suck. If you missed this, Amy Pascal has hinted that because the director of Venom, who also directed Zombieland, since the director of Venom has a background in comedy, she hinted that Venom may be a comedy. She thinks that might be the right way to go. Yeah, because Venom is such a comedic character, right? Venom has always been a character that you just bust a gut laughing at when he shows up in the comics. Yeah, that movie is going to be a fucking train wreck. That movie is going to be so bad. They want to film the fucking thing in September, I think. They want to release it next year. They don't even have a script yet. Amy Pascal is saying it could be a comedy. This thing has disaster written all over it. This thing is going to be fucking epically bad. You know what? I'm glad. I hope it tanks. I hope Silver and Black tanks. I hope fucking the fucking Kraven the Hunter movie that they want to do, I hope that fucking tanks. I hope all these ancillary MCU Sony movies fucking tank. I hope they lose hundreds of millions of dollars on it until they have no fucking choice but to sell the Spider-Man IP back to Marvel just to recoup their losses. Because that's the only way that Marvel are gonna get those fucking those fucking characters back, and the only way that they're ever gonna be done justice in a movie is if Marvel gets them back. So, if we want that to happen, we're gonna have to endure a lot of pain. We're gonna have to watch Sony fuck up and fuck up and fuck up and fuck up a lot of characters before they just throw up their hands and go, we can't do this. And just sell the rights back to Marvel. That's the only way it's gonna happen. And it's on track to happen, actually. Venom, all the warning signs are there that that movie is going to be a colossal failure. What did you think of the Inhumans trailer? I think the sets look nice. I wasn't wild about some of the footage they showed. It's like, were those like the most exciting clips you could have used? Really, you didn't have a better one of Black Bolt using his powers? I don't know. I kind of feel like it was just a bad trailer. Not that it was horrible or anything. Maybe if they used different footage or cut it together a different way. I'm still undecided about it right now. I want to see it, but I don't know. Some of the media I've seen for it hasn't been the best. Maybe it's just a case of poor marketing, which actually wouldn't surprise me. But ABC's marketing kind of leaves something to be desired. So we'll see. I think I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. Let's see. The show was shit, to be honest. I agree with OTRS's review. Random matches that took up 75% of the show that are just cramped up random matches. Yeah, it's kind of hard to disagree with that. Braxton Sutter should be whatever division the Grand Championship is in. Well, I'd be satisfied if they just got him out of the X division and kept him out, because he doesn't belong in there. Did you hear Bobby Lashley would retire from pro wrestling for MMA? I heard something about that. I didn't know. I haven't, as far as I know, it's not confirmed or anything. It's just a possibility that somebody put out there. I don't see why he'd want to retire from wrestling when he's proven that he can easily do both. Let's see. Thoughts on Jim Cornette burying the TNA rebranding to GFW? I haven't heard it. Needless to say, I think the rebranding to GFW is fucking asinine as hell, so if that's how Cornette feels about it, I guess I'll have to watch that video. Sounds like a lot of fun. Spider-Man movie is really good. Okay, cool. Missed some of the Braxton, Allie, and Matt Sydal matches. Matt Sydal a heel because the reaction to Braxton and Brilliant Acting was odd. No, Matt Sydal's a babyface. I did see that Braxton was getting pretty good reaction there. I tend to think it's because he's got Allie with him. Needless to say, if he turns on Allie, I think the fans will turn on him pretty quickly. In a perfect world, Gale puts over newer talent and retires, but it's not a perfect world, so expect the exact opposite. Yeah. Will they want to do a Trish Stratus with her, where she wins the title and retires with it, and doesn't put over anyone on the way out? Because that doesn't help anybody except Gale. And look, you could argue that she's earned the right to go out the way she wants to go out, but you know, even Undertaker retired putting over somebody. Undertaker never puts people over. So I'm hoping that the company will do what's right for business and ask Gale respectfully to maybe give a rub to somebody on her way out. I think that would be good of her, since they pushed her so hard for so long at the expense of so many other knockouts, and have really damaged their ability to make new female stars because they were so focused on Gale for so long. Now Gale is leaving in the not-too-distant future, and it's like, well, maybe we should use her to make some of these other girls now, since we've only got her for a short amount of time left. Fingers crossed. I'm not optimistic about it, though. Okay. Too many squash matches that don't help anybody. Agreed? I'm kind of skipping... Damn. I'm sorry, I'm kind of skipping through these things. Guys, also, I kind of want to avoid potential spoilers for the movie. And also, I kind of want to get to the movie theater already. Because I wanted to see this thing on Friday. But I had to work Friday, and then I had to work Saturday. At first, I thought I only had to work Saturday, but then the guy I work for, he calls me up and says, oh, that thing on Saturday, it's also on Friday. Oh, and also there's this other thing on Saturday, too. It's like, oh, you never said that. You never fucking said that. Ugh. Okay, don't get me started. So, wanted to see it Friday. Haven't seen it yet. Going to see it today. As soon as I'm done with this. Velvet has officially retired from wrestling. Yeah, now she's teaching people how to wrestle. She's working at a wrestling school. Great, so that means that future generations of wrestlers can be complete shit, get by on their looks and merch sales when they have no talent. Awesome. Is that what she's teaching people? Is she teaching them to run the ropes like a pussy? Oh, God. Whatever. At least she's not our problem anymore. Okay. Thoughts of Madison Rain leaving the company? I guess it's not that surprising. I don't know if it's officially confirmed, but I guess she's off the roster page and she's working indies again. So I guess it's more or less a sure thing. Yeah, not really surprising. It kind of seemed to me that she'd been transitioning into a backstage role for a while. Really didn't have a presence on the show anymore. So I guess it's not much of a loss. It is unfortunate in that she was a veteran who'd been there for a long time, who was willing to put over the new girls. And she was somebody who would have her uses in helping the new girls adapt to working on television. So it is a loss to not have someone like that around. Hopefully Angelina can pick up some of the slack in that regard. But yeah, I mean, as far as like on-screen product, it's not like you're going to miss her because she'd basically been off TV for a while at that point anyway. I think they could have used her backstage though, so it's kind of a shame. Fantastic Four needs to go back to Marvel. Yeah, I suspect it will. Fox has done 3 Fantastic Four movies. They've all been horrible. They've all been the drizzling shits. I can't imagine they've made any money on this license. So, 3 strikes and you're out, Fox. Are they going to try again with Fantastic Four? Beats the hell out of me. If it were me, I wouldn't bother. When the Roger Corman version is the best movie, that means somewhere along the way you just fucked up. I suspect Marvel will get the rights to Fantastic Four back. Maybe not immediately, but I think that'll happen. X-Men and Spider-Man, those are the tough ones. I think Sony seems determined to shoot themselves in the foot with the Spider-Man license. With Amy Pascal running things, she is just going to drive that brand into the fucking ground. So eventually I think Marvel might get Spider-Man back. X-Men, I don't know. That's a really tough one. They just seem determined to crank out X-Men IP movies for a long time now. Plus, Deadpool's really successful, and they're doing these TV shows now, which apparently which I guess is doing pretty well. I guess Legion is doing well. They got that new one, The Gifted, whatever. So who knows? Fantastic Four, I think Marvel will get back. At least. Let's see. Will you be watching Black Lightning? I don't know. Don't have much of a desire to check it out. Because I kind of want to get to a place where I'm watching fewer shows, not more. Might see if it's any good. Seems like Alberto is obsessed with WWE. His mouth is going to get him in trouble. Sooner or later, it's bound to, I think. But at least for now, when he says stuff about WWE, it's how much, like, WWE suck. And, this company has had such a fucking inferiority complex when it comes to WWE for so long that it's kind of refreshing to see someone on the roster saying, yeah, those guys up in Connecticut, fuck those guys. Fuck them. It's kind of nice to see somebody actually standing up for the company that he's a part of, that he represents. Yeah, he could be a little more politically correct about it, but at least he knows which side of the toast is being buttered, Yeah, he's not biting the hand that feeds him. He's embracing it and saying, yeah, fuck those other guys. I hate them. They suck. Nobody should watch them. They should watch our show. So, good for him. He's a volatile guy, to be sure, but at least right now, he's using his powers for good. I think they see Deadpool and go, hey, Venom looks like Deadpool, so that made money, so let's make Venom funny. You're probably not far off. But, yeah, Venom is not a funny character, though. Deadpool is funny and comedic in the source material, and that's why it works. Venom is not a comedic character. The two are not the same. Oh man, fuck Amy Pascal. How on earth is she still getting jobs in Hollywood? And you think the jig would be up after the whole Ghostbusters debacle, but no, she's wormed her way into the Spider-Man license, and she's holding on for dear life. She is just gonna fucking bury that shit. Ugh. It is gonna be a glorious disaster. And I lost my place. Okay. The Silver and Black and Venom movies will be to the MCU the way Netflix shows are to the MCU. No, they won't. Amy Pascal's talked about this, and she's said it in a really confusing way, but I think what the situation is, she's trying to make people believe that these things are a part of the MCU when they're really not. The only connective tissue is Spider-Man. Okay, say you got Spider-Man here, okay? Over here is the MCU. Like Captain America, Thor, Avengers, Iron Man, all those people. Alright? Over here is all the things that Sony wants to do with the Spider-Man IP. So we got Venom, we got Sinister Six, we got Kraven the Hunter, and all that like Silver and Black, all that stupid shit. So, the MCU and Spider-Man are connected. Just pretend there's a circle around these two things here. And the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe are connected. And there's a circle around that stuff here. So you got Spider-Man connected to both worlds, but the two worlds are not connected to each other. So I guess Spider-Man exists in both, but he's like the only one that can travel back and forth. Or I think that's how it works. So you're not going to hear, you're not going to see Venom crossing over into an Iron Man movie. You're not going to see the Hulk pop up in Silver and Black. You know, there's going to be no crossover. They're probably not even going to mention each other. And I think that's how it's going to be. Although, God help you try to get a straight answer out of Amy Pascal. I saw the Ben and Plumpy from What Culture did a video about this where they were trying to figure out what the hell Amy Pascal is even saying, and they couldn't. They were so frustrated about it that they just freaked out. He's like, what the fuck does that mean? She doesn't understand how words work! Ah! You know, it's a pretty funny video, actually. Check it out. I was laughing about that for a while. Reaction when I heard Velvet Sky was retiring. I am both elated that she's not wrestling anymore and horrified that she is now teaching people how to wrestle. Because what in God's green earth qualifies Velvet Sky to teach people how to wrestle? What the fuck is that? Right way to do a Venom movie is to move it back to October 2019, make him a villain in Spider-Man 2, and then spin it off. It could work. No, I'd say they need even more than that. Look, Venom is a character that requires a lot of backstory to set up properly. Because first, you got to introduce the character. You got to give him all of his motivation. You got to do the black costume saga first. Then you got to do Venom as the villain in a movie, the Spider-Man movie. Then you got to do some kind of quasi-redemption for him, and then spin him off into his own thing. Ideally, that would need a couple movies to set up the right way if you were really serious about it. But what they're doing is just putting Venom in his own fucking movie without any of the backstory, without any connection to Spider-Man. So they're going to have to butcher the entire fucking origin because Spider-Man's not going to be involved in it. And on top of that, they're adding fucking Carnage to the mix. So how the fuck do you do Venom and Carnage without Spider-Man? The only way you do that is if you completely change the origin. And that is, like, rule number one when you're making a comic book movie. Don't fuck with the origin if you don't have to. So that shows you right there, they have zero respect for Venom as a character. They're just trying to pump out movies so they can keep the Spider-Man IP. As a result, these movies are going to be complete shit. I'm telling you guys, these movies are going to fucking suck. Venom is going to suck. Silver and Black is going to suck. Kraven is going to suck. All of them, they're not even going to be fucking worth watching except for how hilariously bad they fucking are. Because if Sony is fucking running these things, if Amy Pascal has as much control as she supposedly does have, it's going to be a fucking train wreck. Amy Pascal having the power that she has is the reason Ghostbusters turned out the way it did. Amy Pascal's a fucking idiot. Okay, who should Sienna feud with next? Well, first she's got to do the rematch with Rosemary, because the former champion is owed a rematch. After that, I guess Allie is the logical choice, because there's tons of build-up with her and Allie. I wouldn't say Allie is ready for the Allie character is ready for a run at the championship. I think it would be too soon for her, but, I mean, who else have they built up? The only other choice that would make... the only other choice, really, is, well, we know Gail Kim is due back imminently. And, well, if history is any indication, she's probably going to jump right to the head of the line, start getting all the focus in the knockout division again, like she always seems to do, and just go straight for the title. So my guess is they're going to have Gail bypass Allie completely and just go move right into the title picture herself. Because when Gail is there, it's all about her. All the time. So she gets the lion's share of the attention, and none of the other knockouts matter very much. It's what always happens when Gail is there. And look, I like and respect Gail Kim, but it can't be like that anymore. It can't be. At some point, it just becomes counterproductive, and you have to ease off Gail to build these other girls into stars. And that's why I've been enjoying the knockout division since she's been gone, because for once, we didn't have Gail Kim there, so they had no choice but to focus on building the other girls, and that's how we got the ascension of Rosemary as the Knockouts champion. That's how we got all this development with Allie and how she got so over. I guarantee you, if Gail was there, if Gail had not gotten injured, if she'd been there the whole time, all that stuff wouldn't have happened. Because Gail would have still been the central figure. She would have still been being the one getting like 90% of the attention, 90% of the focus. Rosemary would not have gotten that great title reign. I mean, she might have gotten the belt, but just like Jade and Sienna before her, she would have been in the background. Because Gail is always front and center. She's always in the spotlight. And Rosemary's title reign just would have been forgotten about. Just like Jade's title reign, just like Sienna's first title reign. Because that's what always happens. Okay. Heard Paige was dropped from Total Divas after news that she was in the credits Slammiversary. I think that means she might get released soon so she can come to Impact. Yeah, possibly. I kind of feel like WWE are petty enough that they might keep her under contract just to prevent her from going somewhere else. Because it kind of seems like the kind of thing they would do. Thoughts on the Dixie Carter news? I don't really care, to be honest with you. She's appearing on the WWE Network special about Kurt Angle as Angle's former employer. All right, whatever. She's not involved in the day-to-day operations of Impact Wrestling anymore, so I don't really concern myself with what Dixie does anymore because I kind of want to be done with her. She wants to appear in that special? All right, fine. Still can't believe Dixie Carter is going to be on the WWE Network. Yeah, you'd think there would be a little solidarity there at least. Maybe she would have declined out of loyalty to the company that she was the president of for so long. But maybe it's just a case. Maybe it's just a case of Dixie just wanting to be done with the whole thing, and not really giving a shit anymore. Or maybe it's just because she's a mark for Angle, and she doesn't understand how this could be perceived as a betrayal on her part. Maybe she just doesn't give a shit at this point. Yeah. I followed you since 2011. Really happy to still do that. Thanks for all the videos. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for following. I guess they're going to have Magic's origin being in limbo in the movie, and since it's going to be more of a horror movie vibe, those are going to be some dark scenes, no doubt. Man. Talking about the New Mutants movie, how apparently New Mutants is going to be a horror movie in the vein of like Stephen King novels or something. That movie's going to... There's another one where all the warning signs are there. New Mutants is not a fucking horror comic. Have they actually read the original run of the New Mutants? I've got most of those back issues over here. That was a great title. I have most of the New Mutants run. I mean, it sounds like they were going to focus on like the Demon Bear story and like guys, you're already overcomplicating it. You're already overcomplicating it. Just keep it nice and fucking simple. That's what ruins so many of these fucking movies. Stick to the source material, keep it simple, but no, they want to go like off the. They flip the script and they're going to be in some kind of detention facility where they have to escape from, and it's a horror movie. And no, the New Mutants is not a fucking horror movie. It's not a fucking horror movie. You dumb sons of bitch. Ugh. That's another one they're gonna fuck up. All right. I want Allie in the title picture. I do too, but it has to be the right time, right place. I think I say, look, put Allie in the title match at Slammiversary. I'm not in the Slammiversary. Bound for Glory. I think by then you could have built her up enough that it'll make sense to do it. I think people are going to want to see it. My concern is that the company will forget about that and just discard the whole story that they've had going in favor of putting Gail Kim in the title match instead. If she's not the champion already by that time. But yeah, Gail does not need the title anymore. She doesn't need any more title reigns. If she's retiring this year, just focus on like special attraction matches, like wrapping up old feuds. Like she had that whole feud teased with Rosemary. They were teasing that for quite a while. Never got resolved. They could resolve that. Or I don't know, they could just put her in something else that doesn't involve the championship. She doesn't need to monopolize the damn title anymore. You think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be a part of Infinity War in some way? My guess is no. Marvel's TV and movie divisions don't really get along right now. Apparently there was some kind of dust-up, some kind of falling out due to the budgeting of Civil War. and then the two studios kind of separated, and they don't really have any involvement right now. So I suspect S.H.I.E.L.D. will probably reference it on the show in some capacity. Will it be referenced in the movies? I doubt it. Would you mark out if Samoa Joe won the title from Brock Lesnar? I would. I highly doubt it'll happen. Demon Bear is a horror story, dude. That's what the movie is based on. Yeah, but why is that the first... Why is that the first storyline that you do? That's not a story that you start with. Start with the team, like, becoming a team and doing something simple, like I don't know, like fighting like the Hellions or something. Why are you starting with the Demon Bear? Okay, just do a story about mutants. Okay, you got fucking Danny Moonstar, who's got this hallucination about a demon bear that might be magic or some shit. It's like, why are you bringing magic into this? It's overcomplicating shit. Overcomplicating it. And you already got people wondering, oh, why aren't they at the X Mansion? Why are they in this fucking detention facility place thing? It's like, it's already different. It's I just think they're being all wrong-headed about the New Mutants movie. I'm sorry. I like Maisie Williams as Wolfsbane. I think that's great casting. Aside from that, I have very little confidence in this project. Very, very little. Thoughts on the McGregor-Mayweather press conference next week? I expect it'll be very entertaining. I'm very curious to see it. Aside from that, I don't know. I think Floyd Mayweather is a piece of shit. Conor McGregor is also an arrogant asshole, but he's a charming arrogant asshole. And he's an entertaining arrogant asshole. So I expect it'll be a really interesting spectacle. Favorite series on Netflix? Huh. Well, there's a lot of them. I really love Daredevil. Sense8. Voltron Legendary Defender. What else? Troll Hunters was really good. I don't know, I wouldn't say it was... which I didn't expect. But I saw a good review of it, so I checked it out. Really enjoyed it. What else? What the fuck was that anime? Knights of Sidonia. Really badass anime on Netflix. Though season 2 got really weird though. Pretty crazy with the phallic imagery. It was all over the place. But yeah. So those are a few of them. Okay. Hoping the next X-Men movie will focus on mutants instead of just Wolverine. Well, fingers crossed, yeah. Like, Hugh Jackman doesn't want to play him anymore. I'm hoping they'll just retire the character instead of recasting him. Because I'd like to see an X-Men movie that's actually an X-Men movie and not a Wolverine movie guest starring the X-Men. That's why I liked First Class so much. Yeah. Of course, they're doing Dark Phoenix next, and I'm seeing some red flags go up on that one, because they're bringing in the Shi'ar, and apparently Dazzler's going to be in it, and there's already a sign. There's already signs that movie has too much going on. So I guess it looks like they're gonna be more faithful to the Dark Phoenix story than X-Men 3 was. There is such a thing as being too slavish to the source material, because if you're bringing in fucking aliens now, yeah, it happened in the comics, but is that going to work in a movie, or is this movie just going to be a victim of its own gigantism? I think that's a story where if you have anything that you can cut out, you should do it. Because that's a story that would really benefit from getting rid of everything superfluous and just focusing on the core elements of Jean Grey and the Dark Phoenix and everything that's happening to her. So if you think about it, you could probably cut the Shi'ar out of that story in the movie. Because I don't think you need to bring in aliens. Yeah, it worked in the comics, but the movies are already complicated enough. I'm worried that movie is going to have too much going on. Plus, first-time director, so they're already rolling the dice with that one. I've heard House of Cards is great. Yeah, I binged House of Cards last year. It's a good show, not the kind of thing I usually watch, but it's good. Haven't seen the new season though. Venom is a very funny guy. Remember Spider-Man 3? Eric Foreman's Venom was so funny. Yeah, I see what you did there. Have you seen Alien Covenant? Spider-Man Homecoming. I have not seen Spider-Man Homecoming. No spoilers, please. I'm seeing it today. I have seen Alien Covenant. My feelings on Alien Covenant were very, very mixed. Very, very mixed. I feel like I understand parts of Prometheus better now that I've seen Covenant, but hardly a perfect movie. Once again, you got a crew of people who are complete idiots. I didn't like how the alien life cycle was sped up so much. Like now, like a face hugger implants an egg in someone and then the egg hatches in seconds and then it's fully grown in like a minute. No, that's not how it works. It's supposed to gestate for like a day or two first, and then it's supposed to take like at least a couple hours to reach full maturity. No, how are they growing so fast all of a sudden? It's stupid. I will say Fassbender is great in those movies. Guy's a badass actor. I'm just not totally on board with the direction those movies are taking. Okay. You've seen it. Heard Schleg Daddy is doing a new series of videos reviewing old shows. He's starting off with WCW Sin. Really? Wow. Been a long time since I thought about that show. Big Cass turning heel was a genius idea. Where the hell has this Big Cass been all these months? Okay, last question, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I actually like I like the Big Cass heel turn, just not for the reasons you probably think. First of all, not because it was done well. It wasn't done well. You could see that coming a mile away. It was obvious he was turning heel. But I actually like that they did the breakup angle. Because I didn't like Big Enzo and Cass as a team. Thought they were annoying. Thought they were one-trick ponies. They cut the exact same promo every fucking time. So they were annoying to me in a way because they reminded me of the New Age Outlaws, because those guys were kind of the same way, same fucking promo every time. They always talked a lot of shit, Enzo especially, and then they never backed it up. Like Enzo, he's like the biggest shit talker on the main roster, has the biggest mouth in the world, acts like he's the biggest badass, and then he's getting knocked the fuck out all the time. So it was kind of, it was really entertaining to me to see that hashtag counterfeit G just getting played for a fucking sap by his tag team partner. So the biggest shit talker in the company ends up getting made to look like a complete fool, and then has his tag partner turn on him before they even won the tag titles. I just think that's hilarious. For the record, a real certified G would have seen that coming, Enzo. Just saying. A real certified G would have seen that coming. Hashtag counterfeit G. And that is going to do it for me, guys. I want to change my clothes and get over to the movie theater. Haven't seen Spider-Man Homecoming yet. Today's the day. I've heard great things about it. I'm going to see it. I've managed to stay mostly spoiler-free, so I'm not going to risk staying online anymore. I'm just going to get off the grid, head to the movie theater. Thanks so much for joining me today. And I will talk to you probably next Saturday for the next Impact stream. I'm toying with the idea of making a video at some point during the week where I talk about how Matt ripped off Death Note to get the delete thing. So we'll see. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have yourselves a good day. Over. Out.